Hey there! Are you working on a personal project? Maybe it's a blog, maybe it's starting your own business, something along those lines, and you're hustling to get it done in between your 9 to 5 job. So the weekend starts, Friday rolls around, and then before you know it, it's Sunday and you've gotten nothing done. I used to deal with that all the time, and it's a term that I've come up with that is called busy procrastination. Okay, so just say you're working on your blog and you have a goal of maybe getting 2 blog posts done over the course of the weekend. But what happens is you kind of get busy answering messages on Facebook, responding to emails, maybe changing the look of a picture or taking too many pictures for your blog, and before you know it, you have gone through the whole weekend and you haven't gotten done what you need to get done. This is busy procrastination, and it is the worst procrastination because you don't even know that it's happening and you don't even get a chance to relax. Like, at least if you're regularly procrastinating and you're watching TV, you're like watching Netflix or going out with friends, you know when you're procrastinating, you can enjoy it, you have fun, whatever, even though you have that like stress in the back of your head, like, oh, I should probably get my blog worked on or whatever. But busy procrastinating kind of sucks because you're stressed still the whole time. You're like, oh my God, I gotta get through these emails, I gotta answer these messages, I gotta respond to people on Facebook, I gotta check my social media, I gotta see how many followers I have. And so I think it's really important to be very aware of when you're busy procrastinating and create systems in your life so that you can stop busy procrastinating. And once you've created these systems, I promise you, you will be able to get the things that are the most important things in your life done, and all of the other stuff that you were doing on the side, you'll be able to get it done too in the right segment so that you're time boxing things off and you're doing it in the right way. So the most important way to stop yourself from busy procrastination is to first off start by prioritizing, okay? I know how it feels. I run a blog myself. I run a blog called yessupply.co, and I know what it feels like when you have a million things to do and everything seems like a priority, especially if you're building a community. Like, I'm building a Facebook group full of like awesome female entrepreneurs, and then I have people emailing me and messaging me, and so everything feels like a priority because you don't want to leave anyone hanging, you don't want anyone to feel left out. Then you have maybe your social media going and you want to make sure that if you're posting stuff, it's getting the right type of engagement. You know, you're answering people back if they're asking you questions on your Instagram feed or whatever. So it's really important to first prioritize what is the most important thing to do, okay? So step one, prioritize. So when you're trying to prioritize, essentially you need to think of what is going to make the most impact in my business. If you have a business where you're selling something, what is going to increase sales? What is going to touch the most people? What simple thing can I do that's going to have an exponential response that's going to be able to touch the most amount of people, okay? So for some people, it might be writing a blog post. For others, it might be promoting that blog post. One thing that I learned along the way, I remember when I was first starting my blog, I thought I had to write like 5 or 6 posts a day. Not true. You can get by with writing 1 post a week, 2 posts a week, and actually spend more time promoting it properly, okay? Because there's no point in writing a post if only 60 people are gonna see it, okay? There's no point in spending your time and energy and research just creating something that's not gonna make that much of an impact. You'd be better off to put the time into making a really great post, doing the research, you know, making it almost like a white paper, and then promoting it so that instead of reaching 60 people, you're putting that time into writing 1,000 posts, you're putting that time into promoting it so that 600 people can see it or 6,000 people can see it, okay? So really important thing is to prioritize what is going to make the biggest difference in my business. Writing those blog posts that help you move product, help create you as the expert in your field, that's where you should be prioritizing. And so if that's what you picked as your priority, step 2 is to schedule it in, okay? Schedule in the time to complete whatever the task is, and make sure in that scheduled time, in that designated time, you have absolutely no distractions. That means if you have roommates that, you know, hop into your room for a visit, then you need to get out to a coffee shop and start doing your stuff at a coffee shop. That means putting your phone on airplane mode or turning your phone off. Sometimes when my phone dies, I'm like, thank you that my phone died, because it's actually such a good thing when you have zero distractions, because then you can get into something that's called deep work or deep flow, where you're actually working at your highest potential. Your creative mind is working, and you're able to just flow through exactly what you need to do. You'll come up with the right stories that have to do with what you're trying to say. You'll come up with the right words. You're just really, it's like when you're in the zone, you know, when you're in the zone, it's like you can just like fly through anything. But if you are not time boxing, if you are not limiting distractions, then it's going to take you 3 hours to do something that should be taking you 20 minutes. So you'll be writing a sentence and then you'll see like an Instagram pop up, and then you'll be like, oh, who liked my thing on Instagram? And then before you know it, you're looking through your whole feed to see who liked your picture or whatever. So making sure you're blocking out all of those distractions. One thing that I actually do is I have turned off all notifications on my phone other than like a regular text message or a Facebook message. Like if somebody wants to communicate with me one-on-one, I find that's really important. But the regular notifications, just as I get a text right now, but the regular notifications I turn off, because all the apps, the Facebooks of the world, the Instagrams of the world, guess how they make money? They make money the more time that you spend on the app. So they're going to do everything in their power to remind you to go back on the app. Like, it's crazy. I changed over, so my Facebook was linked to my old email from college, and I recently changed it over. And I couldn't believe how many emails they were sending me. Like, I was getting an email probably every 10 minutes from Facebook on my emails, then pop-up notifications. It was crazy. And it's because if you're living your life and getting shit done, Facebook isn't making money. They make money when you're on their app, scrolling through, clicking on ads, engaging with other people, generating content. Like, Facebook is the best idea in the world. We're generating all the content and they're making all the money. It makes absolutely no sense. I'll probably have a whole other rant for it another day, but for now, make sure that you are time boxing. If you can, actually shut off all distractions, shut off all notifications on your phone, and then that means that you have put the power back in your hands to allow those distractions when you make time for them. I go on Facebook when I decide is the right time for me to go. I'm not just going on because it's trying to remind me to go on there every 5 seconds, which is what it seems it does. So nothing against Facebook. I love using it to grow my business, but you need to make sure that your social media is working for you, not the opposite, okay? You shouldn't be working for it. So that kind of leads me into my point number 3, which is making sure that you are limiting those distractions that are kind of fluff. You know, you feel like you're doing something, but really you're just wasting a lot of time. So you can do this by scheduling even more so. So I have a schedule. If you sign up for Good Morning Beautiful, you'll actually get an email that has my weekly Sunday setup email. I help you set up your week and stay really, really organized and make sure that you get your goals completed. And so one thing I include in there is a schedule. So I schedule exact time for me to write my blog post, exact time for me to schedule my social media. This is great because then I have set aside time where I can look at the week ahead, see what sort of important dates are coming up, what dates might be trending in social media, you know, that sort of thing. And then it kind of gets my creative juices flowing about what type of posts that I can post. Like, for example, today is International Day of Happiness. So it's great to be prepared beforehand and be like, oh, I know what I want to create a quote about or what I want to talk about because I'm like prepared for these days. So by getting ready at the beginning of the week, you can be at your most creative point when you're creating those posts, rather than like on a Wednesday, you're like, oh shoot, I haven't posted anything in 2 days. Like, I better just throw something up so I don't lose like 100 followers, right? So making sure you're scheduling that time. So on the weekend, I have one day where I do all of my blog posts. I plan everything out for the week. I make a very set schedule. And then I also have certain times during the week to do specific things. So on Monday mornings, I'm in my Facebook group. I'm talking to everyone on my Facebook group, answering any questions that they have, engaging with them. Every day I have a really fun challenge. Maybe they're sharing what their Instagram handle are or their Twitter handles are, or sharing what some cool tool tips are, or what they're doing on their weekend. So I make sure I am adding content in there to keep my group really happy and engaged and having a great time in the Yes Supply Society. On Monday mornings, I'm also responding to messages on Instagram. I have time set aside on Wednesday for Pinterest and Twitter, and on Friday. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I actually strive to have a 0 social media day, okay? So I cheat, I'll be honest with you. I probably go on about 10 or 20 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But believe me, by aiming for 0, it's one of those things, it's like you shoot for the moon and you land along the stars. Like I shoot for 0 and I end up at like 20 minutes. That's a lot better than spending an extra 2-3 hours on in the middle of the week that I don't need to be on there, okay? So making sure that you're scheduling specific times so that you don't get sucked in, because I used to suffer from this, and I know a lot of people suffer from this too. It's like you post a picture on social media, you post a picture on Instagram, and then you're sitting there staring at the likes coming in. You're like, oh, someone liked my picture. Oh, someone else liked it. Oh, they did something else. They did something else. So no, there's no point in checking like who's liking your picture. Like that has no bearing on your mind, on you moving closer to your goals. Okay, that's like not important at all. So make sure that you're scheduling specific times so that you're getting things done, but it's not sucking up all of your time. And then also automate wherever possible. So I have certain tools that I use for my social media that help me automate a lot of the posting and the tasks. So I have something that helps me automate my Facebook group posts, and something that helps me automate posting my blog post to my Twitter to keep my Twitter followers and my Twitter friends engaged. So making sure that you're scheduling time to do stuff and automating whatever you don't have to do. If you find something you're doing over and over and over and over and over again, then it's really worth looking into if there is a way to automate it. Okay, so I hope that this helped you guys get rid of busy procrastination, start to set up your days a little bit better, set up your weeks a little bit better. If you need any additional help finding your yes in life, definitely make sure that you check out yessupply.co. So Yes Supply is a community of goal-getters, hustlers, girl bosses who only take yes for an answer. So you can find me at yessupply.co. You can find me on Instagram at yessupply, and make sure you sign up for my challenge for Good Morning Beautiful. Good Morning Beautiful is a daily morning email that will remind you to get up early in the morning, start to own your morning rituals, limit distractions, and stay focused on your goals and positive self-talk. I had such a great time chatting with you guys today, and make sure you reach out to me if you have any questions or have any comments on the video. Thanks, guys.